Mānawa mai te putanga o Matariki. Mānawa mai te ariki o te rangi. Mānawa mai te mātahi o te tau. Hail the rise of Matariki. Hail the Lord of the sky. Hail the new year. Let us prepare ourselves for worship as we listen to Jamie play Prelude in G major by Mendelssohn. Tēnā koutou e te whānau o Auckland Unitarians. Tēnā koutou ngā manihiri. Haere mai koutou ki tēnei hui. Haere mai ki te kaupapa o te atanai. Haere mai ki Matariki, ki te haere mai o ngā mema hau. Haere mai ki tēnei whara Karakia o te atua. Neki atu i te kotahi rautau e nohu tapu ana. Ko Rachel Mackintosh tōku ingoa, ko te kai kōrero o te rā. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā rā tātou katoa. Greetings to the family of Auckland Unitarians. Greetings to our visitors. Welcome all to this gathering. Welcome to the kaupapa of this morning. Welcome to our celebration of Matariki, and our welcome of new members. Welcome to this church, made sacred by Auckland Unitarians for more than 122 years. My name is Rachel Mackintosh and I am the worship leader today. Today's service is centred on Matariki, the Māori New Year, which is observed when the star cluster Matariki appears above the horizon in the east. Matariki is known in other parts of the world by different names. In Europe, the Greeks called Matariki the Pleiades, or the Seven Sisters. In Japan, the cluster is known as Subaru. Matariki is a time to honour and remember those who have died in the past year, to express gratitude for what we have in the present, and to plan for the future. Our service today is shaped as a Matariki ceremony that also follows our own tradition. We will consider the past, the present, and our plans for the future. Part of our celebration of the present and our contemplation of our shared future is our welcoming two new church members, Ruby Johnson and Maria Hayward. Traditionally, a Matariki ceremony finishes with shared kai. I invite those in the church to stay to share our morning tea, and those online to break bread afterwards, in company if you can, and if you're on your own at this time, in company with us in spirit. This is our sacrament of hospitality, and one that is in harmony with Matariki traditions. I invite Ruby to come and light the chalice. Chalice lighting is the moment when we enter sacred space. The words for lighting the chalice today are those words that mark the beginning of our Matariki celebration. Whanaki mai ngā mata o te ariki. Whanaki mai te tohu o te tau. Whanaki mai Matariki honga nui. Arise, the eyes of the God. Arise, the signs of the year. Arise, Matariki, who gathers the masses. Now we have special music with Jamie on the organ, singing Fugue in G major from the same piece that we heard in the Prelude, also by Mendelssohn. And now we move to our new member welcome. Welcoming new members, we're celebrating our appreciation of what each of you will bring to our community, while accepting that we will not be the same after today. We are transformed by your commitment to bring all of who you are into our community. Our purpose, mission and vision will not be changed, but we will be, and so will you. We will be stretched, asking, who are we now? We will see the world and ourselves with new eyes. We will ask new questions, which will lead us in an unforeseen direction. Let the celebrating begin. I invite you, Ruby Johnson and Maria Haywood, to step forward. If you could come up to the chalice table, I think that mic will pick both of you up. And if you could recite the words you have written in front of you. For the congregation, John will then share 3 slides that are our response to the words that Ruby and Maria will speak.
We enter this faith with hope and possibility in our hearts, pledging to participate in the support ministries of this church. We covenant to remain true to the spirit of love that flows through this church and guides us. We seek your welcome as we join you in this faith.
We welcome you as once we were welcomed ourselves. We seek to be open and inclusive, respecting your inherent dignity, your ideas and your vision, in times when it is easy and in times when it is difficult. We seek to be supportive, not only when you reach out in courage to us, but also when you need us to reach out to you. In return, we ask that you recognise our humanity. We will not always live up to our ideals, and when we fall short, we invite you to stay in relationship with us and help us more fully bring alive the spirit of love. We welcome you as an equal member of this congregation, of this faith, and of our shared spiritual journey. I now invite Ruby and Maria each to say a few words as you're moved to.
Well, this has clearly been a long time coming, given that I've led a number of services, which I realise now must have been unsanctioned by God. No, I'm very happy to join as a member properly. Me joining the church, I think a lot of that came down to Clay, and I had attended the church a number of times from 2019 onwards, but I'm glad I got to regularly attend before he passed for about 11 months or a year, and to kind of see him regularly in ministry before he passed. Yes, I felt very, very welcome here from the start. Alex as well made me feel very welcome. You gave me one of your little business cards, which I still have sitting in my flat, that moves around the computer periodically. So thank you all.
Kia ora koutou katoa, ko Maria Haywood Takawingra. Perhaps I should begin by saying Mana watia Matariki, kia koutou katoa. It is, I'm not sure if it was done on purpose, that our welcome is on the first weekend of the new year of this land. But it's like a new beginning for me, a little bit scary because I was very much put off religion and organised religion and institutional church by my Catholic upbringing. But I had an interesting, I suppose, entree to this particular faith, which I understand has a very wide generic meaning amongst Unitarians. But I had known Unitarians for a long time when we lived out in Langholm, and two of our closest friends who were American background were members of this church and spoke about it occasionally, and it felt to me like a different sort of place, and some of the things that they said were interesting. But it wasn't really until another friend of mine, also American, whom I'd known for a number of years, she had had 2 sabbaticals in New Zealand, and that was where I met her, and I've been involved with quite a lot of academic work with her and conference presentations and so on. And last year, when I was visiting one of my daughters in London with my younger daughter, we did a little trip around Europe and met up with Jodie in Paris. She has been sort of seeking refuge there in a way, in hiding from where she lives in the States, which is not very pleasant for her at the moment, and teaching to her students from Paris. And while we were there, we were talking about her communities of support and friendship in a new city, in a new country. And one of those was Unitarians. And I said to her, I'm surprised that you're part of a religion being so liberal as you are. And she replied, well, I wouldn't really describe the Unitarians as a religion. They're more like a group of intellectuals who get together and try to solve the problems of the world. And I don't know how true that was, but that appealed to me somewhat. And knowing that there was a church up the road from where I was currently living, I said to her I might do a bit of research into the Unitarians when I get home, because there is this church locally, and I'll see what they're like. And I did, and read some of the stuff online, and some of the listened to, I think it was one of Clay's sermons, talks, and read a little bit about this place, and it's the kaupapa really of this church, you know, the principles which I read almost every time I come. Also, just the way that the service is run really has appealed for me, just in terms of the music, the language that's used, which is always very inclusive and compassionate, and the personal welcoming. And I think just, you know, Viv and Jos and Tess, who spoke to me on that first day that I came through the doors in such a warm and welcoming way, surprised me and was, just seemed very authentic and nice. And then I was also interested in this process of sharing and lighting candles. And that first weekend that I came, Rachel was speaking and had recently lost her partner, and spoke in such a warm and trusting way to the congregation or the group, and I thought there must be such a lot of trust in this community for people to be able to do that, and I suppose that's what's kept me coming all along. And I've been recently involved with a few others from this group in a theology course online, which has been really, really interesting, and has given me a lot more insight into Unitarianism, its history, its beliefs, and perhaps most pertinently, its iterations over time and its willingness to change constantly and think and to ensure there is relevance and currency in a modern world. So, yeah, that's what's kept me here, and that's why I'm happy to make this commitment today, and I'm happy to do it alongside Ruby. I have 3 children, and 2 of them belong to the queer community, so it's an honour to be with you as well today. And thank you for the warm welcome. Kia ora koutou katoa.
Kia ora. Thank you both. You'll see on the table there's our book. I put markers under H and J, and I put a pen there. If you could sign your name, and I know that Shireen has got something to say at this time as well.
While you're both signing, we are just so delighted that you're both joining our congregation. And I've got 2 little books here written by one of our members, John Maindon. It's called A Radical Religious Heritage. John often joins us. He lives in Wellington now. But I offer you this because it gives us a little bit of history about our church. We haven't got many copies left, so can I just offer it to you to read, and when you've finished, return it so that I can then share it with other new members who might want to join, because I doubt we might publish this again, so they're rather precious to us. So welcome to you both, thrice welcome.
Shall we applaud? We never really know what combination of free will, chance, friendship and good luck it is that brings certain people together in this world for any purpose. But we believe that membership in this church calls each of us here to celebrate what has drawn us together and to regard each one as a spiritual friend and a potential teacher, even of occasional hard lessons. The relationships we form in our church are based on needs of the soul, needs that render each of us vulnerable and therefore reliant on each other's grace and goodness and generosity of spirit. As members of this church, we pledge to be guardians of each other's spirits, to respect the ultimate privacy of each one's human struggle, and to believe in each one's inherent dignity. It is fitting that we welcome new members at this time of Matariki, where the past is connected to the future, where we mourn the past, celebrate what we have in the present, and look to the future. And finally, as members of this congregation, we know that we can always rely on the wisdom of our covenant, which reminds us of our true purpose of being together. Let us join together with our newest church members in affirming the covenant of our church. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is the sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humankind in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow in harmony. Thus do we covenant with each other and with our God. Now it's time to extinguish the chalice. I'll speak slowly. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, the fire of commitment, or the power of transformation. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. So during Joys and Concerns, we heard the Karakia for Pohutikawa, one of the 9 stars recognised as making up Matariki. Our closing Karakia acknowledges the other 8 stars. I invite you to participate in this way. Towards the end, when you heard the words "Tū turu whakamaua kia tīna," we all repeat the word tīna. And then when you hear the words haumie, huie, we all say tai kie. I'll signal you. So first of all, practice. Tū turu whakamaua kia tīna. Haumi e, hui e, tae ki e. Okay, we'll do it again. Tūturi whakamaua ki a tīna. Haumi e, hui e. Not bad. Okay. E tau tupuanuku, e tū tupuarangi. Ka matu ki raro, ka pōkai taraki runga. Behold tupuanuku, behold tupuarangi. Let the earth be lush, let the sky be full of birds. E tau wai ti, e tau wai tā. He tini a tangaroa, he mano a hine moana. Behold wai ti, behold wai tā. The abundance of the ocean, the plenty of the waterways. E tau wai punarangi, e tau ururangi. He wā ko patapata, hei haumuri i te whenua. Behold wai punarangi, behold ururangi. Give us rain, give us wind. E tau hi wai te rangi, te kauwaka o te manako nui, a nei ngā tōmina o te ngākau, hei whakatinanatanga mau. Behold hi wai te rangi, the medium of our desires. You know what we yearn for, make our dreams come true. Matariki atua ka eke ki runga, nau mai ngā hua, nau mai ngā taonga, nau mai te mātahi o te tau. Tūturu whakamaua ki a tīna, tīna, haumi e, hui e, tae ki e. Matariki has risen. Welcome the fruits of the year, welcome the many treasures, welcome the new year. Hold fast and bind together tightly, tightly. Join together, affirm, unite. Tūturi whakamaua ki a tīna, tīna, haumi e, hui e, tae ki e. Frank will now play Waves of the Ocean by Chaz D. Blake. another double round of applause for both of our musicians. And the question for today, which will be up on the slide so you don't have to remember it, is what have you learned about Matariki and how does it resonate with you?